China, your favorite villain. Over the last 20 years, the Western media space has been occupied by all kinds of lies about China. One old boy that has been crying wolf is Gordon Chang, an American analyst and columnist who's known for his hawkish rhetoric on China. According to him, China's economy was about to collapse in 2001. 25 years later, China is still about to collapse any second now. 25 years. This conspiracy is not officially too old for Leonardo DiCaprio. If you get $1 every time Gordon Chang makes a wrong prediction about China, then you still couldn't pay off your student loans. Gordon, it's been 25 years. China's economy hasn't collapsed, but your reputation has. Gordon Chang is just an example. Western media has been pushing all lies about China as if journalistic integrity never existed. One thing that has been demonized and blown out of proportion to a laughable level is the social credit system. To an average person living in China, it's something pretty straightforward and doesn't really affect the day-to-day life. But for Western media, this is their one big chance to practice their gaslighting skills, which produce ridiculous clips like this.
He had a business until he was sued by a client, and Huang refused to pay 90 grand to settle it. So the court put him on a social credit blacklist, and things got way worse. He explains that being blacklisted means he can't buy airplane or train tickets.
First, the guy clearly also said on camera, I can't go to karaoke, which deserves a translation because that is probably more devastating for Chinese people than can't buy plane tickets. But jokes aside, if the court decides you need to pay settlement and you refuse to pay, then some financial restrictions before things are sorted seems reasonable, right? Am I crazy? Why does NBC make it sound so scary? If someone owes money and refuses to pay, what should we do instead? Make him the president of the United States? That smear campaign was so successful, some people from the West won't stop asking me about it and refuse to listen to the truth. And that is a pattern. When it comes to China, reality doesn't seem to matter.
Have you ever been a member of the Chinese Communist Party?
Senator, I'm Singaporean. No.
Have you ever been associated or affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party?
No, Senator. Again,
Okay.
I'm Singaporean.
Listen, the social credit system doesn't affect average Chinese individuals. Only when a court case is involved will there be actions taken against the person or legal representative of the company. To the rest of us, it's actually quite comforting. Think about it. If my client owes me money, then I definitely don't want him to go to karaoke. Another ridiculous lie that has fooled so many innocent people in the West is China is spying on everybody. And apparently, we are very creative when it comes to hell. Our coffee machines are spying on you. Our EVs are spying on you. Our balloons are spying on you. You know what? Why stop there? This birthday candle is spying on you. This weird toy is spying on you. This made in China Trump doll apparently is also spying on you.
That's made in China. Oh, okay.
This is all ridiculous. Why would we need to physically spy on you? If we needed some information from you, surely we could buy it from Meta. And it will be more than enough. But there's one thing that has made the Western media very anxious, which is the tactic doesn't seem to be working anymore. More people are seeing what China is really like. It started with Red Note.
Hello, TikTok refugees from the US. Welcome to Red Note.
Now we've got TikTok refugees like you guys flooding Xiaohongshu. Is it just me, or does that feels like a new world?
The Red Note rush was a giant PR disaster for the US because for the first time, normal US citizens were able to directly communicate with normal Chinese citizens and get a glimpse of real life in China. The finding? Kind of shocking.
And people from China try to be nice, and they're like, oh, you know, that's just what governments do. Like, our government tells us so much propaganda about you guys too. For example, our government also told us that you guys can't like be mean to the police there or they might shoot you. And then all these Americans had to be like, that one is real. That will happen, especially if you are not whites. That is real too. Yeah. And at this point, people from China were like searching for things that could be propaganda. They were like, oh, well, they told us that you guys go bankrupt just for trying to see the doctor. That can't be real, right? Tell us that's not real. And then Americans had to be like, yes, medical debt is one of the leading causes of bankruptcy. Here.
Girl, don't lose hope. At least you still have that $6.25 billion in the Trump fund for your next generation.
We are creating a new generation of capitalists. Well, 10 years from now, a little boy is going to pull out his phone and he's going to look at his app and he's going to see his Trump account. And instead of thinking of big, bad, scary corporations, that little boy is going to say, I own $50 of Apple.
I don't know how good of a capitalist that little boy is going to be, but I know if he goes on a date and pulls out his phone and says, hey, I have $50 of Apple, that for sure will be the end of the date. People also didn't stop on apps. They traveled to China to see with their own eyes.
I'm an American traveling around China, and behind me is like a hipster street in China, and I guarantee this is not what you thought China looked like.
This is China! Now show the whole city real quick! Yo! Yo, my God!
And once people are on the ground here in China, free to explore, free to experience, free to enjoy, it is very hard for the Western media elites to be like, oh, that clean air? That's just a show that put on just for James from Alabama. That clean streets is just staged at the exact time Hank from San Francisco is going to walk in. Oh, that city called Chongqing. China just built it for iShow speed. How? China just hired 20 million actors to pretend to live in that city. Easy, all propaganda. They might actually say these things. Let's wait and see. But seriously, this trend of seeing the real China is unstoppable now. You know what? I think the world is having China fever. Like Trump.
I've been saying China, 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 China.
This is the last show I have this year, and I want to do something special. Like I mentioned, in recent years, China has been in the spotlight for a lot of things. Some were heartwarming, some were ridiculous, and some just make you want to go, huh? We can't just let this moment sink into the bottomless ocean called the internet. They need to be honored or publicly ridiculed again. So let's do that. Everybody, welcome to the first ever Jing Jing's Choice Awards. Everyone in the world knows China makes everything. From every object you see in your house to every Asian you see in Silicon Valley. This year we found out China also makes Americans? Here are our nominees for the Best Made in China American, the Chinese Trump.
If you're black, then I'm the real Donald Trump himself. China, China, I know China very well. I know everybody in China.
And Chinese Trump.
Nowadays, a lot of good stuff is made in China. Everybody knows it, right? But somehow in other places, things made in China end up costing more. I don't know why, I don't know who did it, but frankly speaking, it's a little messed up. It's a little messed up.
Chinese Elon Musk.
Hi, everyone. I'm Elon Musk.
And the award goes to Chinese Trump. He's the proof that whatever the US makes, China makes it better, cheaper, and non-threatening to the world. In general, you always say like China, very positive things about China. And then there are people calling you, maybe saying you're a CCP paying you to do this. You're a CCP agent to talk good things about China. So let me ask you, why you talk positive about China so much in your live streams?
Because I think that uplifting 800 million people out of extreme poverty is an incredibly impressive feat. Being able to develop this country in the aftermath of colonial extraction, World War II, infighting, and civil war, and to become a competitive force that is slated to overtake America in a multipolar world is very impressive.
In recent years, things originated in China have taken the world by storm, which I think will happen more often because China is creating more cool things. And also climate change is real. Here are the nominees. La Boo Boo. Haidi Lao.
Oh my gosh, Haidi Lao, all of them. I love. See, I don't know if I'm supposed to say the brand, but oops.
Miniso. BYD.
Hell! Hell no! These cars in China crazy, bro.
And the award goes to BYD. Just like socialism, if the US government doesn't want you to have it, you know it's good. Do you think China is still a socialist country?
The easy answer is that China is in a very important process to build socialism. In China, you have capitalists, but you don't have a capitalist class. They are not allowed to create their media. They are not allowed to control political parties. They're not allowed to buy off the election system. They don't operate as a class. They exist as capitalists.
Okay, now, many people from different parts of the world have absorbed the best part of Chinese culture and have been ruthlessly showing off to the entire world, which has impressed a lot of Chinese people. Let's look at your nominees for the Shock the Chinese Award. Rosamund Pike speaking authentic Chinese.
脱裤子放屁. And I said, oh, right, great, that's great. What does that mean? And they said, that's the act of taking your trousers off to fart.
Oh, wow.
And I said, well, that's perfect.
We've got to love any nation, any people that have a verb for that.
Handsome French guy casually singing a Chinese pop song in Paris.
一杆小鬼在这社会少风声在呢喃，不如好好欣赏一秒迷迷糊糊的浪漫。
And this guy, whose spirit animal is very clearly Jackie Chan. And the Shock the Chinese Award goes to Rosamund Pike. 脱裤子放屁 is a phrase every Westerner should learn, as it can be used to describe almost every Western political campaign, because it is normally unnecessary and kind of stinks. So just be happy about people wanting to leave your country. That means all the money you spend on the US propaganda has worked. And Mr. Trump, if you really want to stop immigrants from coming to the United States, there's no need to use violence and ridiculous searches. The solution is very easy. Step 1, stop getting into other countries' businesses. And then just start telling the world, United States sucks. This award is dedicated to people who are supposed to be a lot smarter and more aware than the rest of us because they wear suits, I guess. But when they open their mouths, they make Tom Brady look like a financial genius, and RFK Jr. looks like the brain worm only ate a little bit of his brain. Here are the nominees. Kevin O'Leary squeezes China on CNN.
If we wipe out any business there, because we are still 39% of all consumables on Earth and 25% of the world's GDP, America is the #1 economy on Earth with all the cards. We will not have that forever. It's time to squeeze Chinese heads into the wall now.
Fox reporter Laura Ingraham educates Trump that the Chinese is in fact not the French.
So we're dependent on China to keep our university system going?
But I think it's good to have, I actually think it's good to have outside countries. Look, I want to be able to get along with the world.
They're not the French. They're the Chinese. They spy on us. They steal our intellectual property.
What, do you think the French are better?
Yeah.
I mean, really? I don't know. I'll tell you, I'm not so sure.
The European Union vice president raises a lot of question marks in her head about World War II.
Russia was addressing China like, you and like Russia and China, we, fought the Second World War. We won the Second World War. We won the Nazism. And I was like, okay, that is something new. But then you can see, first you can, if you know history, then, it raises a lot of question marks in your head. But, I can tell you nowadays people don't really read and remember history that much, which is that, you can see that they buy this narrative.
Last but not the least, everything that comes out of Japanese Prime Minister Sanya Takaichi's mouth recently. And the award goes to the next stupid thing they are going to say, because I don't think they are going to stop. Convincing Japan to acknowledge its war crimes in Asia is harder than convincing Mariah Carey to acknowledge J-Lo, Seinfeld to acknowledge Keisha, and Joe Biden to acknowledge his own age. It's much harder for Asian people to move on and just forgive Japan, because Japan never showed remorse like Germany did, let alone apologize for the war. This award is prepared for our celebrity friends who came to China this year and absolutely had the time of their life, which is something you can do as well, because we are visa-free to a lot of countries now. China travel is easy. And the nominees are Steph Curry, looking at a drone, Steph Curry. Katy Perry got too much love and too many cell phones from her fans in China. The French President Emmanuel Macron sprints to his fans. Hassan Abi goes full Chinese musically on a bus. And the winner is the other 3 nominees that I have not interviewed, and I look forward to it in the near future.
Iran is a key part of this multipolar project. China is also at the heart of this multipolar project of creating a world that is actually truly democratic and not just dominated by the US-led West. So this is all part of a US attempt to strangle the multipolar baby in its crib.
2025 is definitely a highlight year for China travel. I have learned so much about my own country from their videos. For example, I learned there are some things I would just never do, but good for them. And by that I mean 华山.
Oh my god, 这个不太行. Oh, I am helpless. I am very much helpless.
And here are the other cruelty-free nominees. Chongqing's confusing flooring system.
I'm here in Chongqing, China, the biggest city in the world. Check this out. You think you're in a normal city square, but you actually realize you're on the 22nd floor of a building.
Mesmerizing AI robot legs that can be rented in China.
Oh my gosh, it's like moving for me.
The robot is like, I'm putting no effort into running, and I'm like running so good.
China's bullet train that can take you to pretty much any destination in style. The Chinese makeover photo shoots. And the best destination award goes to the food delivery spot on the Great Wall. The Great Wall used to stop intruders from the north, but you know what it won't stop? Our love for food.
A cousin of tea and sandwiches being carried by a man drone.
Wow, Chinese delivery on top of the Great Wall.
When I grew up in Australia, especially in high school, I was constantly bombarded with all these lies about China that were extremely hurtful as a young person. You know, they would talk about how uncivilized Chinese people are, how, disgusting Chinese people are, how China is a wasteland. I would be constantly disturbed by these accusations. And yet I had the privilege of going back to China most years to see my grandparents, and I would look around me, and yes, there were developing conditions, but I was like, this is not what these people are talking about.
I love my job. I love getting feedback from everyone. And I mean everyone. For the next award, I selected a few outstanding responses from some of my most popular tweets last year. Here are the nominees for the Brain Rot Award. First nominee, this response to the US Can't Squeeze China tweet. What about if 170 plus countries get together to squeeze you and your highly manipulated currency collapses while you're in the midst of a deep consumer recession onshore? Then what, Jing Jing? Then I will try to wake you up. Because that's a big if. 170 plus countries? You can't even get along with Canada. Second nominee to my toxic living system in the US tweet. Over 80% of Chinese people are poor and live on less than $30 a day. I know. How wonderful it is to be able to live an affordable life. Have you ever considered maybe that 80% people in China are not poor? It's inflation in the US that's out of control. Next up, my anti-corruption tweet that's got quite a lot of debates. Ha 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 ha, oh man, I thought this was a joke. Ask anyone who knows anyone in China, the ruling class is absolutely rich and benefit themselves. But I am someone who knows actually a lot of people in China. And I just told you. So let's move on. Next nominee. To my tweet on China being the most misunderstood country. This person thought he had a gotcha moment. Do the Uyghur people get a representation in your Congress? Yes. So do the other 54 ethnic minority groups. Gotcha. Final nominee. When I posted about the US ambassador to the UN's comment on China's military equipment. Most of the tech is stolen from China and Russia because we allowed it to happen, but we're still unstoppable to them. Well, we don't have to stop you. Your government stops itself all the time. So who wins the Brain Rot Award for 2025? The award goes to all of them. Picking your favorite troll comment is like picking your favorite child. We should love them all equally. And to my other trolls, work harder. Maybe your response can be picked next year.
It's time to squeeze Chinese heads into the wall now.
Squeeze our head into the wall? Dude, you can't even squeeze a lemon without a lemon squeezer we made for you. And that is a wrap for Jing Jing's Choice Awards. These awards are a good review of my year of 2025, and I hope you enjoyed them as well. If you didn't, too bad. Just like this great country, I will stay me and only do better in the future. See you next year!